heartbreaking funerals that we watched of the kids, Ariel, Kfir, and the mother, Shiri, were all laid to rest this week. 100,000 Israelis lined the streets to escort them to their final rest. An amazing show of solidarity as we stand together in mourning and in solidarity. These are the babies of Am Yisrael. We definitely held our children closer together, tighter, in memory of these babies who were taken from us in horrific circumstances. And from all these tragedies, growth has to come. As Am Yisrael, as we've seen throughout history, we grow from our pains. I've heard a talk by the psychologist in Israel, Glenn Cohen, who is the first one to meet the hostages when they are released and to debrief them and help them start on their way to recovery. And he says that he doesn't like to call it PTSD. In fact, he calls it PTG, post-traumatic growth. He says the hostages are resilient and incredibly strong, and they've learned to grow from their experience, and even in captivity they managed to stay focused and find hope. Many of them, he says, started becoming more observant. They fasted on Yom Kippur in the most dire situations. They held a few crumbs of the pita to keep for Shabbat. They said their prayers. They strengthened their faith. PTG, post-traumatic growth. A friend of ours in Florida, the same day that Ariel and Kfir were buried, named their grandchild at his bris Ariel Kfir. Ariel is God's lion. Kfir is a lion cub. They're going to rise like lions. So we have to ensure that the memories are kept alive with more children, more Jewish children named Ariel and Kfir, standing tall as Jews. This weekend, this Shabbat, we celebrate the first day of the month of Adar, which of course is the month of Purim. And Purim is a time of celebration. The whole month is called the month of celebration. It says when Adar arrives, we should increase our joy. Mishenichnas Adar marbin besimcha. Because the Purim story is not just about salvation, it's about transformation. The very day that Haman had a decree to have all Jews, men, women, and children, annihilated, that same day the Jews were able to stand strong and overcome their enemies. And that was transformed into Purim. And just like then, as Haman said, Yeshno Am Echad, there's one nation, Mefuzar Meforad, that's spread out over your kingdom, Achashverosh. And he was trying to say that the Jews are not united, and therefore they're vulnerable. Came the decree of Haman and united the Jewish people together as one. And that's what has saved them, and that's how we celebrate on Purim, the unity of the Jewish people. They stood together, Taf v'nashim b'yom echad, women and children and men, all in one day. And that was a show of solidarity that we saw, the unity of the Jewish people, all watching and participating in this unfortunate, sad funeral. There's none of us who didn't see the photos, didn't see the videos of their burial. May this be transformed, miyagon l'simcha, from sorrow to joy, Me'evel for mourning, L'Yom Tov, the holiday, where we see the redemption speedily in our days. Shabbat Shalom, Happy Purim.